Hello. We'd like to go today through the halachot of the 3 weeks coming close to Tisha B'Av. As you know, there's 3 phases on those timing. First, it starts in Yud Zayin Bet Tammuz, those are when it starts Ben HaMetzarim, the 3 weeks. Then we go to Rosh Chodesh Av, where things starts a little bit harsher, as it says, Mishenichnas Av Mema'atim B'Simcha. Then we come to the Shavua Shechal Bo, the week of Tisha B'Av, starting from that Shabbat, and then Tisha B'Av itself. Today, we'd like to speak of what happens on the time of Shavua Shechal Bo and the Rosh Chodesh itself, because beforehand, from Yud Zayin Bet Tammuz, there's almost nothing starting except a couple of things for Ashkenazim, and overall, we stop listening to music, Shechianu is restricted, and people try to stay away from going into entertaining places, but Ashkenazim also take upon themselves not to get married from that time of Yud Zayin Bet Tammuz, and also not to shave their haircuts. But when Rosh Chodesh comes, then few halachot kick in. First, no eating meat and drinking wine. Ashkenazim start from Rosh Chodesh, Sfaradim start from the day after Rosh Chodesh. On Rosh Chodesh, Sfaradim are permitted to eat meat and drink wine. Meat includes chicken as well. Wine includes grape juice as well. The reason it's restricted is because in the time of the Bet HaMikdash, the meat was brought to the Mizbeach, the wine was poured into the Mizbeach. So since that has stopped, we also stop eating meat and drinking wine at this time. That's why other liquor would be allowed. For instance, beer is allowed on that time because beer was not poured to the Mizbeach. That's why fish, for instance, is allowed at this time. Why? Because fish was not brought to the Mizbeach. So meat, and also included in that, is chicken. Of course, if a person needs it, for instance, a sick person, pregnant woman, or even kids, if they are still in the age that's not on the chinuch age, definitely one can give them meat and chicken. And even if in chinuch there are those who permit for children that need to eat and strengthen themselves, but adults definitely should restrict to not eating that. That became the minhag. Secondly, the washing of clothing, laundry, and so on. Ashkenazim start from Rosh Chodesh not washing clothing and not wearing washed clothing, which means every person needs to wash his clothing beforehand, because you can't do laundry from Rosh Chodesh on until after Tisha B'Av. And when one wears clothing, it should be something that was worn already beforehand and not freshly laundered, which means a person needs to wear some things before, whatever he's planning to use, before Rosh Chodesh. That's for Ashkenazim. You wear them for a half hour or so, and put them aside. You put yourself the amount of clothing that you think you'll need to wear. A person could wear a few at a time. That will speed things up. For instance, if he needs to wear socks, he can wear 3-4 socks at a time, put them for a half hour, and then change them. Sfaradim don't start this from Rosh Chodesh, but rather from Shavua Shechal Bo, from that Shabbat right before Tisha B'Av. So if Tisha B'Av is on a Thursday, Shabbat, that's when you start. So therefore you prepare everything from a Friday already, or beforehand, so you have everything ready. If you forgot to prepare, so there's ways how to prepare on Shabbat, although you're not allowed to prepare on Shabbat, but whatever you wear on Shabbat, you can take it off before you go to sleep, and then wear new ones, and then when you wake up in the morning, you change that, and wear new ones, and then when you are taking an afternoon nap, there's ways how to do that as well on Shabbat, but better to prepare before everything. That is when we're dealing with laundry, and that is when we're dealing with wearing clothing. How about showering? Also in that, Ashkenazim start restricting showering before Rosh Chodesh, Sfaradim from Shavua Shechal Bo. Now, many poskim hold that showering just means not to take a warm bath or warm shower. It used to be much more strict on Meikara Minhag, not to take any showers at all, just wash your hands and face and and feet, but not more than that. But now people wash their body not for pleasure, but rather because people became isthenis. They became very fragile, very sensitive. They can't handle not taking a shower. They can fall asleep. They feel itchy. They don't feel comfortable. They're extremely irritated. Because of that, one is permitted to take a shower. Just you take a shower that's cold with a little bit of warmth just to be able to take that shower to make it bearable. You can use soap according to many poskim because, again, soap used to be restricted because it was used for pleasure. Today, people just use it to take off the sweat, and nobody really enjoys the soap. It's not about enjoyment. It's more about just removing the sweat, removing the dirt, and feeling refreshed afterwards. So this will be permitted. From when we deal with Rosh Chodesh, as we said, Rosh Chodesh Av, Mematim Besimcha. Mematim Besimcha, Magen Avraham explains, doesn't mean to lower your degree of happiness, but rather to completely stop. Mematim means completely stop, nothing that has to do with Simcha, which means you don't go from that then on to entertaining places. You don't involve yourself in entertaining things. You restrict all happiness. That's what it is. That's besides music that started already way before on Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. Faradim, from that time on also, don't get married. So those are things that one needs to remember. Going to a pool or to the ocean, from Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, many poskim permit if it's not into dangerous places. In dangerous places, the poskim say that it's restricted, don't go into dangerous places, or Moshe writes this, it's brought down in Shmata de Moshe. But the halakha doesn't restrict going to the ocean or going to the pool from Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. That's how Rav Elyashiv writes, this is how Rosh Zalman Auerbach writes, and this is how the Or Letzion brings down. But Lemaise, a person, although he's permitted to go, we said he should not go to dangerous places. He should be very, very careful because this time of the year is a dangerous time. A person needs to take precaution more than normally. Although normally also a person needs to be careful not to go to dangerous places. But now it's mesugal lepornut. It's time that's much more sensitive to, and danger is much more relevant in that time, so one needs to be extra careful. This is how it's brought down. Although a person can go, as we said, to safe places in the ocean and in the pool, the Or Letzion writes that we see from the Shulchan Aruch in the end of Siman Taf Kufnan Aleph that he doesn't bring in the list of things that one should restrict himself as dangerous. It doesn't bring going to the pool or to the ocean, therefore that would be permitted. But although it's permitted, one needs to realize for Ashkenazim from Rosh Chodesh they can go into a pleasurable shower even, or take a pleasurable bath. So definitely they can go to the pool or to the ocean, but Sfaradim can go up to Shavua Shechal Bo. And not up at that time already, things will be restricted, just because you don't go into the water at that time.